I have terrible news. An invasion of socially awkward misfits and overinflated egos will be taking place shortly. It's the encore that no one asked for. The Melonheads are returning. That's right, all your favorite pseudo-internet famous washouts will be getting their asses beat by the Portland Pickles on July 27th. And you too can be a member of this illustrious group, while being significantly better than us at baseball. I'm not joking. With the finest merch available for grabs, from jerseys to tumblers to caps and even locker room nameplates signed by the whole team. What the hell do you mean it's gonna have negative value? All proceeds are going to the Alzheimer's Association. We're getting destroyed for charity as God intended. The game itself's taking place at Walker Field on July 27th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Yes, it is gonna be streamed live. Kill me. The Pittsburgh Pirates. Baseball's Persian rug. Now faded, stained, trampled on repeatedly, and home to a stubborn rat who refuses to let it go. Since the days of family and the boys bopping, the team's been a monument to sub-mediocrity. 5 playoff appearances in 45 years, a measly wildcard win is an accomplishment, 20 seasons in the abyss, and Bob Nutting. He's reaching Voldemort territory in this city. Nutting's Pirates are the kings of doing just enough to avoid relegation. If baseball had that. Trading fan-favorite players like Andrew McCutchen and Garrett Cole is an evergreen way to build anger and apathy more potent than chlorine gas. But replacing them with what you find on the Dollar General clearance rack? The standard is the standard indeed. But elsewhere in Pittsburgh, a once, and in most cases still ostracized community gathers once a year in a mecca of the awkward, the unhygienic, the degenerate, and the furry.
Back. If you're downtown this weekend and you see someone with furry hands and a tail, please don't be alarmed. Anthrocon has returned to the Steel City.
Much to the delight of so many. It's a unique convention where people dress as friendly, larger-than-life furries, and they've crashed the PTL studios to bring the fun straight to us.
At the beginning of every summer, Pittsburgh hosts Anthrocon, where thousands dress as sparkly wolves, neon dragons, or whatever the fuck a Sergal is. And credit where credit's due. They're passionate about whatever they fancy. In past years, all 11,000 hotel rooms reserved for the event sold out in just 12 minutes. Admittedly creative, boisterous, and by most accounts, pungent. In the end, maybe furries are more like Pirates fans than we'd ever want to admit. Loyal to a fault even when the world's snickering, and sinking large amounts of money into tickets for an event that anyone in their right mind would avoid like the plague. But these incognito insurgents of normalcy don't always play nice. Their activities tend to leave a trail of chaos in the Steel City. Yet on a fateful day, one pirate would notice and unintentionally change the face of the event and meme history with a single word tweeted into the stratosphere. Picture this. You are Andrew McCutchen, the Pirates franchise superstar strolling through Pittsburgh during Anthrocon. The city's overrun by the vermin known as furries. Folks in animal costumes strutting like it's a mobile parade. Kutch, half amused, half confused, posts one word. Furries. No further context given. He later told Rolling Stone it was self-explanatory. Furries were on every corner furrying it up.
Alright, so I lived downtown, for quite some time. And I would see them all the time. They have
Are those the people that dress up? Like, they dress up in the full outfits? Oh, whatever.
Wait, what's your persona?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
They ask.
Yeah, you into what you're into and stuff. That's all I really got. I mean, if I see them,
do you walk up and pet them?
Tweet about it. And all I say is furries. That's it.
That tweet sparked a Pittsburgh legend. And a love affair that confused many a Yinzer drunk from playing cornhole at a parking lot tailgate. Since this happened in mid-2014, Kutch has made furries an annual ritual, tweeting it whenever Anthrocon graces the Steel City. And for some unknown reason, Kutch, fueled by the sweat and sexual frustration that the furries bring, transforms into the Great Bambino himself. In 15 home games during Anthrocon from 2014 to 2018, he batted .419 with a .479 on-base percentage, .742 slugging, and 3 homers. In his return to the Berg in 2023, he went 5 for 9, cracking off a homer and a double before the day ended. Somehow it wasn't just the players acknowledging the fursuited fans. Now the average Joe seemed to recognize the powers at hand. Jokes are jokes, but if there's a superstition that benefits your team, baseball fans will always be the first in line to buy stock. The great furry tweet spawned memes, annual Reddit threads, and a video by Foolish Baseball detailing the event almost 3 years ago. Unfortunately, he's off to break legs for the Braves struggle, so you stuck with my ass for a while longer. Even though Kutch spent a few years away from the Pirates, that hasn't stopped the cultural overlap since his return. One furry rocked a McCutchen jersey in Anthrocon 2024. The hype got so loud even then Pirates manager Derek Shelton had to approach his 13-year-old daughter as to what a furry was, not wanting to have to ask a player or staff member. But not every furry moment in Pittsburgh was a home run. No, the furries have engaged in more than their fair share of tomfoolery. Fursuits muffle sound and cut vision by up to 90%. So when you add about a week's worth of alcohol crammed into a matter of hours, and then stuff that drunkard into a 75-pound costume with no hearing and a level of vision rivaling Ray Charles, you're bound to unleash all-out hell on the streets. Confirmed reports range from costume miscreants stumbling into traffic to knocking over drinks at Fernando's Cafe. Hotel staffers across Pittsburgh routinely complained of fur shedding in every single room. Last year, an attendee was arrested for attacking a hotel patron in the hallway with a sword, crushing their finger down to the bone and then getting the snot beaten out of him by the unarmed victim.
Police say a woman who was in town for the Anthrocon convention was attacked by a person with a sword at Pittsburgh's Wyndham Grand Hotel. Early yesterday morning, police say the victim was staying in a room with 26-year-old Jake O'Leary and then two other people when they say O'Leary got out of bed, grabbed a sword, and began swinging it. The victim has a severe laceration on her hand and got herself to the hospital. O'Leary also suffered an injury to his face at some point during this and was taken to the hospital before being taken to jail. He's now charged with aggravated assault.
For some reason, all charges against the man would be dropped, but the story lives in infamy. In 2017, the only hate crime conviction in the entirety of Allegheny County belonged to a furry attending Anthrocon. An individual going by Toxic Fox, real name Ian Warren, found himself taking a break from one of the many furry sexcapades happening in the city to sneak into a hotel's restricted area and attempt to kick a black cop while flinging every racial slur known to man. It turned out Ian had 49 pending charges in California, so he was shipped across the country to face those as well. I don't know if this is an inside joke, but I guess that Ian was the inspiration for this very real notice hidden in the bottom of Anthrocon's FAQ page. Then the unconfirmed events. I prefer not to believe they happened and the news didn't bother to report it. Probably for the sake of our sanity. There's been more than one reported sighting of furries yiffing in alleys or street corners during Anthrocon. That's why flamethrowers should be allowed during these days. It should be noted that kink and fetish harness gear are not acceptable in the convention, yet a good chunk are considered part of the costume itself. But that's besides the point. Personally, I think the pirates in the furry convention that invades the city are forever bonded. Both inhabit a summer void of religious gatherings of sport, destined to be the social outcasts of their respective communities. So allow me to paint you a picture. It's 2025. The pirates are roughly 15 games under 500 or something, and it's only June. Bob Nutting is being burned in effigy throughout the city and region by both diehards and opportunists. But across town, Anthrocon's rocking. Another furry in a Kutch jersey's leading a parade. Kutch tweets the famous word. He goes 3 for 4, cracking an absolute piss missile out of the stadium, all the while a felon fursuiters yelling racial slurs at a cop. Both groups, pirates fans and furries, are fighting for relevance in a world that views them as punching bags. Pittsburgh becomes a war zone of deviance and depravity. So when you see Kutch tweet that famous word, bow your head and send thoughts and prayers to the real victims, the hotel staff at the Westin. The sights, sounds, and smells they experience traumatize weaker men and women than they.
We stumbled upon Anthrocon today, and we've been having a great time meeting all of the, what are they called, participants of Anthrocon, and getting a lot of selfies and a lot of pictures. They're a fun bunch of people.
Pittsburgh is now our favorite city.
Absolutely, by far, our most favorite city.